When you see a man who is labeled as an abuser, like a physical abuser or a verbal abuser, etc., do you ever stop to ask yourself, is this not a black and white issue? Let's say a man hits his spouse. Do you ever ask yourself why? Sometimes women are stereotyped to be very passively negative.
It's this constant warfare on the guy's psyche. Women tend to put guys through this really negative experience for years and years and years.
You told me to get a tattoo saying I'm a liar, like a tramp stamp. You told me to shave my head. You told me to dye my hair green, shave off my eyebrows, and get an ugly tan. Like, is that not abusive to you? Do you think that's a fair trade?
Alright, welcome back to your safe haven, the place where not even monsters like Onision can touch you. Literally. Anyway, welcome back to the takedown of Onision, part 45. Today's video will consist of how Onision responded to all these recent haters, as he would say, overlooking the Chris Hansen situation, getting involved with Greg, also me dressing up in costumes, prancing about like a 15-year-old child. Would you look at that? Instantly I received a DM from Onision himself. However, it's very unlikely that Onision ever predicted that Chris Hansen was about to get involved in his case.
Hope you're ready for a hardcore, because you're 12 and I'm an adult. I'm Onision and I don't care about the law or basic morals.
What, so you're telling me he made a skit only at the start of this year based on Chris Hansen's show, and Onision himself played the maniac meeting up with a young child? A lot more where that came from. I swear to you, there's things in this video no one else has shed light on. We've just touched on him playing the role of someone who preys on underage girls. But how about him accepting underage girls onto his inappropriate Patreon page? It can't be. Onision is a good man. He even stated that anyone under the age of 18 plus wouldn't be allowed on there unless they lied at the sign-up page. See, I told you, he's gone through the entire thing and crossed all his T's. But what about dotting the I's?
I'm going to be 17. Oh yeah, I think you told us.
Which means she's 19 in America.
Right.
To be honest, didn't expect any less, really. If you're 17, it means you're 19 here in America. Is that what you tell all your victims before you commit a crime? But before we begin, our likes have been very low recently, so I'd really appreciate it if we could hit 1,000 likes in this video, and be sure to hit that subscribe button and get me to 25k. I mean, you can always unsubscribe in the future if you don't enjoy the content, but at least then I have something about me which my nan can be proud about. It's either that or the slipper. With that said, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the final moments of Onision. Alright, with everything that's been going on recently, he has decided to release an official statement regarding all the accusations, and this account on Twitter kindly colour-coded everything just to show how truly messed up this man is. Red represents name-calling, yellow represents deflection, orange is public embarrassment, green is gaslighting, blue is denial, and purple is table-turning, one of my personal favourites. But if you'd like to read the whole thing, then please pause the video, because I'm only going to point out the key things in his statement that truly show how messed up Onision is. So let's begin with a table-turning incident. Now, for internet culture, your friends don't like someone. A lot of times that's bandwagons to you. You wind up being an asshole just like them, blindly hating, never looking at the facts. Yeah, alright, no facts. I'm sure that's the case, you pathetic fool, and I have no friends, so I don't really have a bandwagon to go off. But destroying you in videos has become something I really enjoy masturbating to. In fact, it's probably the best time of my life I've ever had. So, dumb mother effers. Yes, I'm trying to win you over because I don't care if you like me. You are all still in high school. The internet drama, outrage, culture, and cancel bullcrap is absolutely ridiculous. You think it's okay to draw conclusions on people when you are not there? You don't know the full story. And that's why I look at you people like you are effing retarded. Now, firstly, Onision, I'm not still in school. I know you'd like it if I was, but sadly for you, I'm not. You know, I am over the legal age, unfortunately. And I know you claim I'm just drawing conclusions and wasn't there to witness the things in your life, but there's plenty of evidence of you mentally abusing people. Also telling someone they're unstable. This man doesn't just prey on underage girls, but he also preys on people's guilt. By the way, he also finally responded to his ex-wife, Sky. Ex-wife. Extremely greedy, used me for money, lied to me about love in the first place, wound up trying to get $250,000 out of me when I left her. In other words, I was right about her the whole time. Oh, is that right, Onision? Well, alimony payments aren't actually illegal, but having the hots for your wife's underage sister, on the other hand, is. Do I have solid proof to that? No, you're right, I don't. But but this is what I do have.
I would have actually wanted to pursue the sister to date her because we had so much more in common, and I would have had to wait a few years because she was 15 and I was 18.
You said that publicly, but allegedly you also tried to pursue her while she was underage according to Sky's sister. You even sent her alleged emails begging her to go to New Mexico with you for 3 weeks, only a little time after your current marriage. So what's your response to that, dickface? But what I truly do admire is his final words of his statement. So yeah, I see you all as morons, because you believed absolute horse crap and had no apologies for it, because you people are idiots. And if you want me to forgive you, well, I do, but not for you. I forgive all of you for me. Have a nice effing day. Right, well, sorry Onision, but I don't quite remember apologising. In fact, I don't even remember you proving any of us wrong at any point. Pretty sure Greg's IQ is suffering terribly. So with that said, let's jump into HQ where I have some gold to show all of you. Genuinely. Alright, fine. I'll give you a little insight. I have the list of things he can be charged for. I also have a statement that Onision made saying that there is no evidence to all the accusations being made. Fine, one more. He actually has fake Twitter accounts where he decides to defend himself on, posing as girls as well. Young ones, that's no surprise. Let's jump straight into HQ. Alright, welcome to HQ, my bedroom. In this part of the video, before I start dressing up in costumes, if you know what I mean, my objective is to make Onision look as stupid as possible. But how could I possibly do that? I mean, I don't have any evidence. But that's where you would be wrong, Nonsion. Closest thing you have to that is people saying Onision rated underage fans. This is based on absolute horse crap. If you actually watch the videos, you find out the forum being ran was 18+. Haters don't admit that because they are lying tabloid scum. Anyone in these videos that were not 18, they were either unaware or they lied to be there. Oh, I mean, that's a great statement. If it was actually true. Fat, thick, curvy or skinny. 16+ only. Rules. Post picture of your body. Sorry, is that on the Onision forums? Oh damn. But Greg, I thought it was 18+ only. I didn't realise it was 16+ only. What are you trying to tell us? But I thought I didn't have any evidence, Onision. You plastic sex toy.
Holy shit.
Sorry, I just gagged a little bit like. Now enough about Onision's statement. I'd actually like to place my hands on the Chris Hansen situation. Now if you somehow don't know who Chris Hansen is, he actually used to have a TV show in America called To Catch a Predator. This is basically where one of the team members used to make a fake account of an underage girl and try to lure in P-files. They would get the suspect to come to the house, meet up with the underage girl, and Chris Hansen would walk out and catch them red-handed. So it's technically his profession to do this kind of thing, so take it away, Chris. He basically got involved by announcing on Twitter that he was going to be doing a live stream on his YouTube channel with another YouTuber called Blair White. She's also done videos on the Onision situation. And that live stream did take place, but beforehand he actually offered Onision to come on live stream to give him a place to defend himself. Instead, Onision requested money off Chris.
Now, I should say that we reached out to Onision Gregory Jackson for his comment, his input, maybe even his appearance on this show or one of my other shows. And he immediately requested $350,000. You know, we don't pay people. We're journalists here, at least on my channel.
Sorry, Greg, but haven't you become the very thing you swore to destroy? Aren't you trying to get $250,000 out of Chris just the way Sky got money out of you? However, Chris did refuse to give him money because Chris only wanted to give Onision a chance to defend himself. And Onision allegedly replied with this.
And then he said back in an email, we better be careful because if we get into any allegations or talk to you about the allegations, he will sue our shoe. Apparently, shoe is supposed to be show, but he said shoe. So
very strong defense from Onision. What could Onision sue Chris with? Well, defamation of character. But I highly doubt Onision would go through with that because unfortunately for Onision, that would require a background check to see if Chris's claims are sustainable. Onision knows he wouldn't have a leg to stand on once he walks through those court doors. Speaking of court, let's check what Onision and Kai can be charged with. Possession of child the nudes minors sent to them, plus possibly the pictures collected from Greg's forums. 3 to 9 months county jail followed by 1 year of community custody or probation. Sexual misconduct with a minor in the first degree, maximum of 5 years in prison and/or a fine of $10,000. Tax invasion / fraud. Cyber stalking, Billy, Sky, Alia, Shane, Eugenia, etc. A 12-year-old girl pleaded guilty to this in 2011 and it was sentenced 6 months of probation and 20 hours of community service. Sexual exploitation of children, including sex tourism, traveling with the intent to engage in sexual conduct with minor, sexually explicit internet communication with a minor, 10 years in prison and/or fine of $20,000. Gee, very rough indeed. Potentially he could face prison time. But let's be honest, you probably shit your pants, Greg. Something I really haven't touched on is how Onision preys off guilt. And I have examples to back that up. If someone done something to Onision that wasn't their fault, or if it was, they'd apologise. And then Onision would worm his little tentacles in, make that person feel worthless and feel like a really, really bad person, and use the power of manipulation to make them his doll, basically, to be able to control whatever they do through the power of guilt and manipulation. Let's look at examples to cover this. First example, when Skye didn't want to be a part of Onision's life anymore, these are the voicemails that Onision left to her.
I'm completely oblivious to how you can live with this. How can you do this to another human being?
How could you do this to another human being? But he's using guilt against Skye. Just that phrase on how could you do this to another human being is a way of turning the tables round to say, how could you attack your own species? That's one example, but here's another. These are messages between Onision and a girl, and this girl no longer wanted a three-way relationship with Greg and Kai, so he made her feel extremely bad. Nothing more to say. You've made it clear Lainey has no romantic future with you. It's probably best to walk away. Friendship at this point is not a reasonable option. Feelings for you would no doubt linger and make things even more painful. I understand. I'm sorry again for all the pain I've caused. Onision is attacking this girl's feelings, making her feel really bad and making her feel like as if she's done something wrong. I feel like this is something that people don't really understand, how child groomers alike actually target guilt itself, and they turn the victim's emotions / decisions against them. Now I think that sums it up, but I feel like it's time to bury Onision for the final time. 4 topics for you: hypocrisy, plastic children dolls, fake female Twitter accounts, and the N-word. So without further ado, let's travel to the memorial of Onision.
How in the fuck are you about to say the way that we do it is not the way? How in the fuck are you about to say the way that we do it is not the way?
So, welcome to the memorial of Onision. My name is the Arcane of Sin, and this is where I dissect and operate on the final moments of an individual's career. I am not human. I am not an atom. I'm simply shifting between Earth and the dark place. So let's begin with the fake Twitter accounts where he posed as young girls. He would anonymously defend himself against the victims, and this is an example of cowardice and fear. And fear is something I really feed off. It's an example of a 30-year-old man shitting himself behind his tablet screen. And as you can see, here's the account called Sweet Candy, which the bio says, I'm taking guys back off. Only following 4 people and 0 followers. Very suspicious indeed. Guilty sin. So here's what he tweeted. How sad that not so lily ones and Patient along with lol be mad are majorly obsessed with Onision. Like y'all gotta get a life, leave him alone. Damn, he is married to Taylor and doesn't want any of you freaks. Ah, very interesting. But here's a second page which is almost identical. As you can see, it has very similar name, bio, same amount of following and followers ratio, and tweeted very similar things. I hope you know, Onision, that this makes you look like the sponge that I scrub my sack with. Clearly, Onision has the fear of directly defending himself against the victims, so he has to make a fake account in order to do so. Speaking of defending, didn't you defend yourself against being a racist? Well, this clip says otherwise.
For my niggers, everyone loves me more for saying nigger. Stupid niggers.
Another guilty sin which I'll be collecting. This man can't stop making things worse for himself. Constantly, every single day. He's like a fly that won't piss off. For your partner unconsciously disagrees with your actions. When people you love say / do things that hurt you and then act like you're unstable for being hurt. Little did Kai know, he was actually describing his monster of a husband the entire time. Very, 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 very clever, Kai. Now let's try counting to 10 next time. There is so much evidence on the internet of Onision calling other people unstable. Evidence inside of videos. Evidence inside of tweets. The list goes on. Now the final thing I found extremely disturbing is how Onision owned a sex doll which resembled a child. This is truly a new level of nonce. I feel sorry for those dolls, and they're not even real humans. He's been an abomination since his mother gave birth to him through her beef curtains. It's about time this man was removed from the internet completely and handed over to the police. But hopefully Chris Hansen will be able to shed light on this, and hopefully somehow put an end to Onision's regime. These are just a few examples that I could use to push Onision's career further and further into the ground. And it is very obvious that he is at least guilty of a few things, but not everything, because not every single allegation is yet to be proven. But yes, I hope you did enjoy the segment. If you did, then don't forget to leave a like and of course subscribe to the channel if you are new. My name is the Arcane of Sin, and I'll see you all in next video.
Yeah. Most of the time when these people be talking, I don't even hear them. They talk, but I do not hear shit when I'm near them.